and the ancestors are looking out for us. God Hayes is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under it. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Shalom alaikum.
Young TV.
Where you niggas was at? Where you niggas was at? Some niggas went into the Audubon ballroom. It wasn't no pale faces. It was some black ass niggas. Went in the Audubon ballroom and killed our shining black prince. Detroit Red. El Haj Malik El Shabazz, formerly known as Malcolm X. Some niggas went in there and killed him and then went through the whole penitentiary system unmolested. Well, first of all, 2 of them was innocent to begin with, and the other nigga that was guilty, that nigga got out the penitentiary first and walked the streets of New Jersey and dared a nigga to say something to him. But when we come to get the shit back, when the chickens come home to roost, now these niggas want to kick and scream and have a tantrum and say who's legitimate and who ain't. And all these motherfuckers got illegitimate information backing they dumb asses up. Black devils. Right? Look, the niggas standing on the balcony with Martin that didn't get shot, standing right next to him and didn't get shot, all of them walked away with a brown paper bag full of money. This came out in the court case. And y'all still kiss them niggas' ass. That set up Martin that was fighting and was on his way to Washington to get your check. And what y'all do? Let some niggas hire some crackers to come and kill him. And the motherfuckers they hired was government agents. It wasn't no goddamn, what's that nigga they say killed Martin? James Earl Ray? That nigga ain't did shit. The nigga that killed Bobby Kennedy, I can understand why y'all don't stick up for Bobby and John, because they don't look like you. But they got the same enemy you got. Listen to the motherfucking speech that JFK gave on the separation between church and state. And he'll tell you how these motherfucking religious motherfuckers, these holy roller motherfuckers came in there to try to get him to push a Jesuit motherfucking agenda while he was president. And he was like, hell no, y'all ain't got nothing to do with this shit. Ain't no religious shit. This political. And they were like, no. It's 5 P's in this shit. That's 5 pillars. And if you don't know what these 5 P's is, then your ass is jammed up on them 5 pillars. Listen to the address to the press club where he told y'all that there was a secret society that waged war in silence. There is no public declaration of war, but we still at war. Right? Even old Ronald Reagan, when he was the governor of California, before he got under the thumb of the Bushes, tried to tell y'all motherfuckers. Y'all don't listen. So when y'all don't listen to us and y'all don't listen to Paleface, who the fuck is y'all listening to? Camel jockeys? Y'all letting these motherfuckers ride these camels over here and tell y'all how to live in your own home, in your own land. Y'all, we ain't from goddamn Saudi Arabia. Why the fuck is we bowing down facing that motherfucker to pray? All our holy sites is all over this bitch. The Temple of Isis is in motherfucking in Arizona in the motherfucking Grand Canyon. The Great Pyramid of Tahuti, Quetzalcoatl, Tehuacan. No, but y'all want to pray to the goddamn Muslim world. Y'all can't even say Muslim right. Y'all got Muslim. Don't even know Muslim in Arabic don't even mean the same as Muslim. It means gloomy one. Hey, gloomy one. What the fuck you gloomy for? Right? We didn't even have flags until these motherfuckers came over here. Now we got to fly a flag. And then they didn't told you that our flag was the slave flag and Old Glory was the motherfucking flag of freedom. Go back and say which flag, the Confederate flag or Old Glory, was the most race riots under. Fuck your brain up. Old Glory got all of the motherfucking blood on it. And then they told us that the enemy was the ones from the South that flew what they call the Confederate flag. The Confederate flag was where they got the original 13 stars on the first flag. The Confederate flag is where the red stripes on Old Glory come from. The problem is that y'all don't know where the blue background come from. The blue background is the symbol for the waters, for the admiralty jurisdiction that they about to impose on your dumb ass to put you in slavery. But first they got to make sure that we fighting each other. They don't want us to revisit the Gullah Wars and realize we came as far south as the goddamn it Tongan Islands and the motherfucking Maori peoples came all the way up here to fight the Gullah Wars because Big Mama called them. They came from Hawaii. They came from the motherfucking islands outside they call Philippines to fight in the Gullah Wars. This wasn't no localized shit, but this is the motherfucking ground zero of the redemption. Y'all don't want to be redeemed. Y'all don't want to be free because you're too busy tearing down everybody that was sent to liberate your motherfucking ass. You took sides with the enemy. That's called being a traitor. And most of y'all don't even know y'all was doing traitor ass shit in the name of motherfucking Jesus. Never knowing that Jesus is ISIS. Right? And they changed the name in order for you to be deceived about who they talking about. They told you that when this motherfucker was born, his name was Emmanuel, which means God is with us. Right? But they never called him that shit by his name again. Because the mama was the one in charge. The son was just following her lead. Trading with the motherfucking enemy. Trading with the motherfucking enemy. They got a whole act called the Trading with the Enemies Act. And all the time, these motherfuckers the enemy. You can't get this money from Muammar Gaddafi unless you fill out this application under the Trading with the Enemy Act. Why in the fuck would I even give you motherfucker the recognition? I'm still gonna get the money, motherfucker, and you can't stop it. And I'm not motherfucking trading with the enemy because you the goddamn enemy. But we all in business and commerce with the goddamn devil on the land. We look the devil in his face, and instead of shoot that motherfucker, we kiss him on his goddamn ass. Y'all motherfuckers is something else. Something else. You gotta wake up. Y'all got to snap out of the slumber. Y'all got to see who is really fighting for you and who is on a bunch of bullshit. Go let them old ladies hear what we talking about. They hear you from an ancestral hearing. They don't hear you from a mortal, regular, day-to-day, three-dimensional slave hearing. Old ladies, for a reason, they got old because they went through some shit. You can't get old and don't go through some shit. And it refined their hearing. So when they hear Big Mama voice, they know who that is. I don't have to tell them. They in my inbox all day long with the gratitude. But it's the average everyday Joes, the 80 motherfucking percent, that the 5%ers is trying to wake up, and these 4% motherfuckers trying to stop us from waking up so we don't never disturb that 1%. Well, I'm about to step on a 1% ass. They about to get it. They said that they wanted a crystal globe, a new world order. That's a book reference, by the way. Crystal globe, the have and have nots of the new world order. That's the book reference. Now, they want to separate us into two distinct economic classes. The 1% filthy rich and the 99% po-ass niggas. I don't care what you look like, you still classified by your economic status as a po-ass nigga. You either a white nigga, a red nigga, or a black ass nigga, but you still a nigga to them. And as long as you still a nigga, and you still part of the collective that they want to be in poverty on the turnaround, and you going against the motherfucker that's trying to get the 99% paid, fuck the 1%, then you the one gonna be the motherfucker that they gonna be in bondage in to serve the motherfucking 1%. I'm not gonna get rid of the 1%. I'm gonna send all of you naysayers, backbiters, and haters. I'm sending y'all to be the slave to the 1%. Whoever the fuck them motherfuckers be, because I'm gonna be part of the majority. I'm gonna be part of the collective who want a free earth. Right? I'm going to be part of the ones that ain't scared to tell dad, mama said we can't eat that. It's not healthy for us. Them the ones of us we going to be. Well, what you mean your mama said it ain't healthy? Then we going to tell him why it ain't healthy. Shit, we ain't supposed to eat that shit. Feces is not for food. It's already been digested. Why would you eat that shit again? Make fertilizer out of it and grow fruit from it. But half these motherfuckers want to wallow in the shit, bathe in the shit, wipe it on their face, and then tell you you look like shit. And they covered in it. This is a long, continuous relay race. It wasn't no regular relay race. It was a 500-year marathon. And just like every marathon, it got to be an end. It got to be a yellow ribbon we about to break, a blue ribbon or a red ribbon, depending on which marathon you're running. When you get to the end, somebody got to wave the checker flag, especially if you in NASCAR or the Daytona. And the checker flag is waved at the finish. But the checker flag is also the chessboard. The chessboard is the Queen's land. Let y'all let that sink in for a minute. Why is the chessboard the Queen's land? The Queen on the chessboard can do shit that nobody else on the chessboard can do. The red and black checkers. The red and black board, a checkerboard. The black and white board is a chessboard. The most powerful piece on the checkerboard is the flying king. Let that sink in for a minute. The flying king land on the chessboard, he outside his element. But for every flying king, we got a queen to checkmate his ass. See, the game is 50 kings, 50 queens. That's why Tupac said if I had 50 niggas, I could take over anything. 50 niggas with the same agenda on the same motherfucking minds. I told him, I'll one up you, nigga. I need controlling interest. I need 51%. Give me 50 sisters, nigga, and I'll shut this bitch down. I'll show you how this shit supposed to work. I done already proved it. Curtis Jackson, Unbreakable Conjure. At the close of the age, the only conjure you can use is the conjure to restore balance. The Curtis Jackson Unbreakable Conjure, which is a 50-cent conjure, which is a 50 flip to 100% or 50 kings flip 50 queens. I'm just a motherfucker in the middle flipping the flips. Monkey in the motherfucking middle grew up to be a goddamn gorilla with the gorilla grip on the goddamn North Gate. You do the math. And look, I'm not even the prime. I'm a secondary. I'm the last of the last. When they can't get nobody else, that's when they call me. When they can't get nobody else, they call me. I got a knock from 3 high chiefs, which came to me in a dream as 3 sky chiefs, written in a constellation form of stars in the sky. And they gave me my marching orders. It was Big Tookie, Angel Bay, and Larry Hoover. And they say, your mama can't come with you. I said, where the fuck you niggas sending me? My mama can't go. War. Nigga, my ears popped up. I'm ready for some war shit. They say, yeah, but this ain't no regular conventional war. What the fuck you mean? What kind of war is it? Say it's a war of self-educated knowledge. Oh, nigga, that shit easy. I've been reading books for years. Yeah, that's why you've been reading them. Keep studying until we let you know when it's time. The ancestors will call you when it's time. Ain't none of these motherfuckers get the knock from Cyclone Marcus. And Garvey told us he was coming back in the whirlwind. And when he come back, he's coming back with the thousands and millions of ancestors that preceded us and suffered at the affliction of this goddamn enemy. But I heard the call. That's a Blue House knock on the whirlwind, right? Which took me to a Panther. Lost in the whirlwind, 96, Bonnie and Clyde, me and my girlfriend. What? How that nigga lost in the whirlwind too? And then that took me to the Red House. What the Red House saying? What's going on in the Red House? Because we got wind and we got lightning, crooked man walking on the land, coming out the Blue House. What's coming out the Red House? What the fuck, nigga? We got lightning and we got rain coming out wind coming out the Blue House. Electricity and air. What's coming out the Red House? Rain. Fire. Rain. Fire. Increased precipitation. Increased forest fires. Out the Red House. The Red House is the war house. Y'all don't even know Jeff Ford, the Peace Stone chief out of Chicago. It's the highest law. He's supposed to take anybody that's violating the collective clans to war. And all of the clans left his ass hanging. Even half of the Stones left him hanging. Because they thought that, oh, well, we'll just get another chief. It don't work like that. Chief's still breathing. Chief's still breathing. Nigga, you can't replace him. He's still breathing. Ain't no replacement for Big Tookie, nigga. They froze him, but they didn't stop him. They thawed his ass out now, and he ain't happy. Larry got motherfuckers out here that know how to think. Y'all trying to produce motherfuckers that know how to shoot. Growth and development is trying to get a motherfucker to grow and develop into some motherfuckers that could think. Noble Drew Ali said, if I can get you niggas to think, you can save yourself. Elijah Muhammad said, accept your own and be yourself if you want to be free. Why is all these motherfuckers telling us this shit and we ain't paying attention? But then they say Big Rod don't know what he talking about. Chief Pontiac crazy. That nigga ain't no chief. Internet chief. Fuck all them niggas. I wouldn't give a fuck if I'm the only one telling the truth as long as I'm in the position to write and I got the right by blood and by right. And as long as I'm in that position, I'm going to tell the goddamn truth to increase my power. And the more I tell the truth, the more I shame the devil, the more his ass cower down until you motherfuckers realize what this brain banging shit is all about. We gorilla knocking all across the land and you motherfuckers can't hear it because y'all spiritually deaf to your own culture. This niggas showing y'all shit, but y'all thinking they the enemy because they not doing it from your perspective. Everybody got to fight this war different. You just need a motherfucker that can see from everybody's perspective. You can only see from yours. The Nuwabian can only see what Malachi taught. The fruit can only listen to Elijah, Farrakhan, or Silas. They don't hear nobody else. The 5% really don't want to hear no shit that if it ain't, some 5% build destroy type shit. Right? You can't tell a GD shit about a vice lord. And you can't tell a vice lord shit about a GD. They don't want to hear it. We in this shit together. You can't take, it's hard to talk to a blood and tell him that you fighting the Crip, but they ain't the enemy. They was just here to wake your ass up because y'all got the same fucking enemy, the policy enforcers. The Bloods and the Crips was created in the midst of motherfucking extreme police brutality and motherfucking mass police murder of the innocents. But y'all don't follow y'all culture, so you'll never know. You'll never know. You just think we out here just to be gangbanging. You think motherfuckers out here selling dope because they don't want a job. Niggas, selling dope is a full-time goddamn job. It requires you to have calculation skills. You need to know how to bag that shit up, mix that shit, cut that shit, rock it back up, break it down, bag it up, distribute it on the land, let the people go out. Nigga, that's a fucking job. It's a fucking job. It's just not a job that's taxable. That's where the problem come in. They got all you motherfuckers think if they can't tax it, it's illegal or immoral. But they doing the same shit. They telling you that selling drugs is illegal and immoral, but they selling it by the ton to you. This all government orchestrated. Iran-Contra proved to be beyond doubt or contradiction. A gun trade. Iran-Contra proves that as well. Dope Inc. tell you how the government is involved. It's a book reference. Dope Inc. is the book reference. And Dope Inc. tell you how they was distributing drugs in the community using the motherfucking government agencies. Behold a Pale Horse told you about George Herbert Walker Bush owning oil tankers that wasn't privy to search for him to flood motherfucking South Central with all of that motherfucking cocaine. Right? They flooded New York. They flooded Chicago. They flooded Detroit. And then our people so fucking ignorant that if anybody was benefiting from it that wasn't the government, they wanted to turn them in. They wanted to sell them out, give them to them. Let them deal with him. That's their problem. And this motherfucker doing more for the community as a drug dealer than the motherfucking government ever done for us. Government ain't never did shit over here. Look, they take your motherfucking tax money to finance wars all over the world, but they won't even fix the goddamn street that you got to go down to get to work. Now you got to spend 4 times as much on a car that's being towed up by raggedy ass roads than you do about a motherfucking, they done sent all the money over there and fixed all they shit. They gave it to them to facilitate the reconstitution of infrastructure. Why they not spending money over here? All you smart motherfuckers, why they don't spend money over here? They was never intending to spend money over here. They was only intending to siphon your resources and send them over there. So what do? They put a motherfucker in office and call him the commander-in-chief of the armed forces to enforce the military jurisdiction of the admiralty law and dictate to the president of the motherfucking Congress, the Senate, what they gonna do, and that's the true head of state. And y'all motherfuckers don't know the difference in the two. When the true head of state is corrupt, then the motherfucking commander-in-chief of the armed forces has to go into a motherfucking military lockdown of governmental resources. And this is why the government is running out of money. Because Donald J. shut that shit down in 2017. So we gonna let Donald J. tell y'all who's who on the planet Earth. Since y'all don't want to listen to the motherfuckers that was born Mississippi walking clay dirt, y'all don't want to listen to them. We can let the motherfuckers that came and give us aid and assistance because they had the same fucking enemy we did. Them niggas that call theyself the white man. Them niggas that call theyself the goddamn white man. We call them dirty Moors because they look like us, but they ain't us. They move in our community and look at the audacity of these motherfuckers. Cause they'll stay down with us to hold us down rather than see us come up. That's not how we did. The tribes over here has never been that way before the invader came. Go back and research pre-motherfucking Columbian history. We lived in motherfucking communities to ourselves, but we went into the cities to do business and commerce and communicate. But y'all think the city is the place that we supposed to live. You ain't supposed to live in that environment for no 75 years. That's a death sentence. The humdrum. This is why our lifespans is so short, because we staying stuck in the inner city. We supposed to get out in the country, breathe the motherfucking fresh air, walk with the animals, harvest from the land, become one with the economy of the land. Fuck the economy of the government. That's not our economy. Our economy comes from the earth. Our economy, our wealth comes from the earth. Mineral wealth comes from the earth. Oil wealth comes from the earth. Food wealth comes from the earth. You can even get fucking electricity from the earth. But no, they got you believing that everything got to come through the government by way of fiat currency that don't even have value, and your ability to use it is slowly deteriorating because of some shit called inflation, fractional reserve banking. Look, I haven't pulled my notes out one time. I done talked about some shit and motherfuckers don't have on the top of their head just like that. Right? What about Rosewood? What about Tulsa? What about the Great Fire of Chicago? The Great Fire of San Diego, San Francisco, the Great Fire of Los Angeles, the Great New York Fire, the Great Fire of Boston, the Great Fire of motherfucking New Orleans. We just forget all that shit, huh? Them great fires is warfare, motherfucker. Look how close they is together. Or what about the big molasses slide, right? In Pennsylvania. That's warfare. It's unconventional guerrilla warfare. Only reason I know because I study guerrilla warfare because I'm a guerrilla warfare specialist. Look, they build dams in order to create mudslides. Then they blow the dam and tell you that the floods was so overwhelming. That's just all you gotta do is wait for a rainy day and do like they did with Hurricane Katrina and blow the levees under the pretense of the storm, and the motherfucker not gonna be none the wiser. I don't care nothing about them people that heard the explosions and the mushroom clouds from the explosion and watch these motherfuckers blow the levees. And we not gonna believe none of the motherfuckers that was part of the blowing the levee campaign, and they was all done by motherfuckers working for Army Corps engineers. They gave the intel to the CIA, who in turn hired motherfucking foreign agents to come in and blow the goddamn levees so they can get you niggas out of motherfucking the NO. They not gonna never motherfucking flood y'all out of the NO. You can do what you want. You can blow that motherfucker up. Niggas gonna pop back up in New Orleans. New Orleans was supposed to be the capital of all of the land because that's where we all went to go get trained on how to have the right etiquette when we go to the other parts of the land. And the intake was the motherfucking mouth of the Mississippi. We didn't bring immigrants in New York until after the invasion. After the invasion, we have to switch up the motherfucking port in which we received the motherfucking immigrants. And they telling us now we being invaded. All I'm saying is, when we all rich, who the fuck going to work? That's all I want to know. 90% of the niggas don't want to go to work anyway. And then if they fucked around and woke up in the morning and found out how rich they was, that nigga not going to work. Fuck that bullshit. The only reason why I go to work is to pay these goddamn bills I'm not supposed to have. See, utilities is a responsibility of a functional government. It's not an individual responsibility because the cost is supposed to be more than the individual should have to put out of his labor earnings. Your labor earnings is to support the lifestyle that's different that you want to live. Some people don't want to live in the city. And they have different ways of living on the land, but because y'all like the way shit running and y'all get uncomfortable with the idea of change, y'all want to rebel against the shit that's right in order to enforce the bullshit. Keep these motherfuckers in power if y'all want to. They won't be in power on my watch though. Cause I'm gonna keep motherfucking telling the truth from the position of right all goddamn day long, slapping them motherfuckers upside their head. Y'all don't think we know who we is. Go to New Orleans, tell your government, your governor of motherfucking Louisiana, if you think we don't know what we talking about, issue a governmental ban on Mardi Gras. Watch how fast this bitch blow the fuck up. Get that motherfucker to put a governor's ban on Mardi Gras. Watch how them niggas down there from Mississippi, Arkansas, Georgia, Alabama, all the way back to the NO, going into the motherfucking eastern portion of Texas will nut the fuck up on a whole nother level. They tried it before, but they won't write about it in the history books. That ought to tell you something. They tried it before, and they won't even put it in the history books. Talking about the Northerners thought that it was a Southern idiocy to entertain the idea of Mardi Gras, and anybody that was caught practicing it, it was to be punished. Well, they made that shit up in the North. They had not been to the NO yet, though. You see, they hadn't tried to stop that second line march. Let them try to stop that second line march. That's all I'm saying. Don't believe me. I know our culture and I know our people. Let that motherfucker ban motherfucking Mardi Gras. Niggas gonna come from Chicago. Oh no, my people from New Orleans, they can't do that. Even the ones that don't even support it, they Christians and they believe that holy roller shit, some are gonna be like, oh no, they fucking up. You can't do that. Niggas gonna literally eyes get big as bow dollars. They gonna be petrified if they try to stop Mardi Gras. Tell them. Go on a letter right, because this shit'll blow the fuck up in their face. Tell them that they can tell them niggas in New Orleans, you can't practice Mardi Gras. They remember the last time, they not gonna even listen to you. They're gonna look at you like you told them some obscenities in the bathroom under the motherfucking, we ain't supposed to say that shit out in the open. Tell them niggas to ban Mardi Gras. If the government's so big and bad, tell them to fucking ban Mardi Gras. If that's that simple, you will find out who really run this motherfucking land. Tell them to ban Mardi Gras. Every time they do it, they're going to get the same result. Whether they did it in the 1300s, the 1500s, or the 1900s, every time they try to ban it, they're going to get the same result. We don't nut up about a lot, but the shit we hold sacred, we hold that shit sacred. Go tell the president of Mexico to issue a presidential ban on Cinco de Mayo. Just go tell him. I ain't supposed to know they culture. Because I'm a nigga out of the motherfucking, from Pontiac, Michigan and Chicago, Illinois. I ain't supposed to know what's going on in Mexico. So, have the president of Mexico ban Cinco de Mayo. Watch that motherfucker blow. They can't get a civil war about being exploited. They don't care about that shit. They got all of the wealth that the Middle East got. Mexico got 10 times that in different minerals and in oil. But they not going to blow up about no financial shit like that. Take their spiritual source information from them. Shut down Cinco de Mayo. Full-fledged civil war in about 30 minutes. The idea in the discussion alone might blow that bitch up. Told them to Brazil and say we gonna ban Los Carnaval. And some of them islands that still have the Carnaval, which is still Mardi Gras, just in a different part of the land. And it's just, the carnival was everywhere. But go tell them, since we don't know what we talking about and we don't know the people. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go try to convince one of these goddamn smart-ass politicians to ban these events and watch how our people respond. We will not have the same go along to get along when they fired us off our jobs or when they replace us with somebody that look different. We don't care about that shit for real. What we really care about is our spiritual connection to our ancestors and to the earth. These are key components of the culture that we spiritually know is a direct link to our ancestry and to the earth. When you try to sever that tie, it's like trying to cut a baby's umbilical cord in front of a fucking doula. Nigga, don't do that shit. That woman gonna have all kind of postpartum depression and the baby gonna grow up thinking that motherfucker in the subconscious, that's not his mama. Cutting that baby umbilical cord. We don't do that. We either gonna do a lotus birth or we gonna cut it after it releases from the uterine walls. A real doula know that shit. You don't go, if she haven't breastfed that baby and cycled that motherfucking milk through the baby, through her motherfucking placenta back up into her uterus for it to release it, ain't no doula supposed to ever let you cut the cord before that. If she know anything about what she doing. The connection from the mother and the baby is incomplete until the baby breastfeed, which tells the mother to release the goddamn placenta. It tells the mother that the baby was born successfully and safe. So all these women with postpartum depression is running around thinking that their baby's been replaced and they died at birth. And we don't know what's wrong with them. The doulas know what's wrong with them. The midwives know what's wrong with them. Go ask them. Go ask them. Why y'all in such a hurry to cut the umbilical cord? What's the problem? Hormones. That's why your baby need a vaccine, because the mother's placenta releases all of his life's immune vaccine, but they cutting it too soon. So now you got to go get vaccinations. Eliminate that shit. Go back to the doulas, go back to the basics, go back to the midwives. Get away from them goddamn bright ass lights that erase your memory when you born so your children can remember who the fuck they is. Yeah, but I don't know our culture. I don't know what the problems that ail our people. And I don't got no remedies for y'all. Bullshit. Bull motherfucking shit. Every mother that had a child ought to sue a doctor for malpractice that cut that motherfucking umbilical cord before it released from the uterine walls. Every mother should file that motherfucking class action against the entire medical system. Because if you a doctor and you don't know that the basic cycling of the chemistry of the mother to the motherfucking placental wall enriches the health of the child and the psychological well-being of the new mother, puts her in mother mode, and you a doctor and you don't know that shit, you shouldn't be practicing. Because that's the most basic part of childbirth that every motherfucker that's birthing children supposed to know. Chemical motherfucking communication between fetus and parent, mother. This is why motherfuckers ain't got no respect for women and mamas now. They fucked around and cut their umbilical cord, and they think all women is something wrong with them. They was born without no motherfucking mama. And all the time, they just cut the umbilical cord and fucked up the chemical motherfucking exchange between parent and child. Basic shit. And half the motherfuckers coming with the naysayer shit don't have a fucking clue what I'm talking about. They don't know. We didn't have no motherfucking prisons, and we didn't have no hospitals. Do the math on that shit. These motherfuckers been here 5 years, and we need prisons every goddamn where, and we need hospitals every goddamn where. We ain't need all that shit. But back then, we had medicine men, doulas, and midwives. So why we ain't need all this shit now? We didn't have a problem with crime because wasn't nobody fucking poor. Because poverty is the cause of 98% of the criminal activity. Mental disease or defect is the rest of it. Right? But we ain't need that shit. Why we need it now? All of a sudden, we just started to go crazy where we got to be locked the fuck up. Look, uncivil war. They told us that we don't get along with our counterpart, our woman. Nigga, we didn't just start having relationships in the 80s and 90s. This is not new. Our relationships work if we not caught up in who the government told us to be. The relationships ain't hard. It go back to what Elijah Muhammad said. Be your own, accept yourself. Or be yourself and accept your own. Your own is any motherfucker on the frequency you on. It ain't got nothing to do with what your skin look like. Because if it did, all them niggas wouldn't have killed our motherfucking greatest leaders. Niggas wouldn't have killed Malcolm if they really believed that Malcolm was one of their own. Even if he because in the tribes, this was our culture. In the tribes, when you get development to a certain level where you don't agree with something that your chief doing, it's time for you to be the chief of your own clan. We know that. That's the culture. The same niggas kill clans 13X. Niggas. Wasn't no pale face. You got some of the best 5%ers don't even look like us. Right there in New York. Follow all of the teachings, know they motherfucking, they daily lessons and all that. Look, we can go back. Y'all ever heard of Denmark Vesey or Gabrielle Prosser? These are two of the largest so-called slave revolts. It wasn't slave revolt. It was an insurrection of the tribes rising up against the government. But it was always a nigga that sold them out. Nigga sold out Denmark Vesey. Wasn't no pale face. Nigga sold out Gabrielle Prosser. Wasn't no pale face. And even in the fictitious story of Nat Turner, right, that was based off of a whole nother conflict that wasn't a murderous conflict. And it was to tell the story of Henry McNeil Turner, and it's a whole nother story behind it. I don't want to get into it. But he was betrayed by a nigga. So it is obvious that the real enemy ain't got nothing to do with skin color. Because if it did, we'd have been came up. We'd have been came up. But every time one of us start coming out from under the oppression, one of us kill them. Sabotage them. Falsely accuse them and trump some shit up. Oh man, in the 80s, in the 70s, late 70s, in the early 80s, when the welfare system was telling the mother to get away from the fathers of the children, that all they had to do was accuse them of touching the children, because the allegation is the only evidence you need in order to strip that father of his parental rights, that fucked us up bad. Because now, if you want to get rid of a motherfucker, all you got to do is give him a sex case. Because you don't need no evidence. The allegation alone is sufficient evidence to convict you of a sex case. Then when they start getting the pale face with some shit called date rape, which I call buyer's regret, she didn't like it, so she decided to call rape on them. Right? When they start getting pale face, I said, nigga, don't stand a chance. Them drag queens got these women fighting us so hard under the pretense of women liberation. Half of them bitches was men in drag telling us we at war. How the fuck we at war with these women? First of all, if the men was really at war with the women, they just stopped producing men, period. And we will eventually die out. And they will keep on producing girls through parthenogenesis. If they really was at war with the men. The women ain't at war with, it's a bunch of drag queens that's at war with the women, and they got us stuck in the middle of that shit with their gay agendas, Babylonian sex magic. That's what all that shit is. I keep telling y'all, go back to the captivity of the Jews. Who was they captives to? Babylon. And when they came out of Babylon, what did they have that they didn't have going in? The Talmud and the Mishnah. And what is it laced with? Pedophilia, money magic, and motherfucking money magic, sex magic, and Babylonian money magic, Babylonian sex magic, and Babylonian blood magic. Read it. I ain't making that shit up. It's 3 types of magic. And then they told you they using against you in your Christian doctrine when they said you was born in sin and shaped in iniquity. They talking about Ninner sin, who wrote that shit. None of us don't even know who Ninner sin is. Go look that name up. Because in order to be a sinner, it's the same way. In order to be a Christian, you have to have Christian practice. You have to have a Christian doctrine you follow. A sinner follows the doctrine of Ninner sin. And his doctrine is for warfare purposes and the control of people. It's actually to control a superior intellectual people using spiritual manipulation of their energies. And it's the law of the scapegoat. It's the law of the sacrifice. So the guilty was able to shed the blood of the innocent and be forgiven for the dirt they did. Not on this watch. That's what the Babylonian blood magic is all about. They're not just using the adrenochrome. The blood of the innocent, what they call the blood of the sacrifice of the saints. Because everybody know what they're going into before they come here. No matter how old they is when they die, they knew what they was coming into before they came. It's the game of the gods. Some of us want to experience misery to a high degree, so we put ourselves in the pauper god place at the bottom of the social structure. And we able to stay there because we the strongest, so we end up suffering the longest and the worst. But the gods had to learn what they was doing to the mortals when the mortals was experiencing some shit they was calling misery. And because the gods didn't know what that shit was, and they don't know how to be judged, what they say, judged in true faith. They couldn't judge in true faith something they never experienced before. This how they got to be on the top. If you motherfuckers can't think, I can't help you. They got to be on top because what the gods did to the mortals. They threw them away like trash. And mama say you can't throw people away like trash. Even if they is mortals, you still got to have some kind of compassion in your heart if you're going to be over people. You can't govern over people and have vicious and maliceness in your heart. It's going to corrupt the way you deal with the people, and you're going to be extremely harsh for no reason. But at the same time, you can't be no bitch ass pushover either. Sometime a motherfucker needs his motherfucking head chopped off. You got to be the same willing to chop his head off as you is to give up the motherfucking child for his future has not been determined yet. He's 5 years old. He picked up the pistol when it went off and somebody got shot and died. He don't know what the fuck just happened. It's the same thing. So before you can judge something, you have to experience it first, or your judgment is unfair. It's an unjust judgment. And in the game of the gods only strive to be just and fair with all in order to restore the balance. We got 7 generations we got to prepare for now. And from them, we'll begin the cycles for the next 26,000 years. And then we're going to come back. I'm going to argue and fuss at you motherfuckers about how dumb and stupid y'all is, about not seeing this shit and not listening to me until y'all can't not listen to me no more. The same as I'm doing now. The same as I did before. It's cyclic. It's a replay. It's an OB movie on recycle. They change the motherfucking supporting cast and make the movie over again. That's all they doing. But if you don't never learn, you can't do better if you don't know better. But as long as you stay a fucking idiot, you can continuously participate in idiotic shit. So I'm not opposed to opposition because I don't think that everybody is supposed to agree. I'm not opposed to people disagreeing. But slander, backbiting, undermining, I don't like none of that shit. I don't care if you got a different perspective. I don't care if you got a different point of view. I'm not supposed to always agree with you. Because if everybody always agreed, we'd all be doing the same shit and we'd probably never make no progress. Right? So we're supposed to disagree, to debate, to bring out the facts, to determine who is standing on the most solid ground. These people that I'm talking about can't see that the one who fights for the collective is not the same as the one who fights only for itself. I'm not worrying about no motherfucker trying to play with my character. I'm not going to change who I am to facilitate assholes. But I will tell you that let the naysayers keep saying nay, and they voting themselves out. That's all. That ain't got to do with me. The law of the universe is going to be fulfilled whether you like the way it look or whether you don't. The hierarchy of the earth to maintain perfect balance is going to be restored whether you agree with it or disagree, whether you like it or not. The oldest contract of the earth is the matriarchal order. The matriarchal gender contract to the earth. The women are miniatures versions of that, out of that contract, because it determined what gender earth would be. I ain't never heard no motherfucker call her Father Earth. Not one time. I have never heard it. Somebody probably do call Earth Father Earth, but I don't know nothing about it. But they probably a drag queen. And I don't got nothing against drag queens. It's just that the enemy is overwhelmingly populated with drag queens. So I got to tell y'all, it's a whole bunch of drag queens. Call themselves priests. Walking around in dresses. Acting like the priestesses who's supposed to be in the positions to hold the balance of the earth. But because y'all think that they more right than these hood niggas, these thug niggas that love niggas, go take sides with them. Goddamn popes. Why they call him a pope? Supposed to be N-U-N. Which is primordial noon. And the Pope is supposed to be people. Anagram missing the L. And the reason that was, the original nuns of the church were white. And when the Dark Mother ruled, she wore black to mirror the primordial noon, which is the center of the universe called a black hole. And from the darkness comes forth the light. The nuns in the white used to represent the light that spreads across the earth. The nunnery would assess your skills and assign you to what type of priestess you was going to be and send you to your designated location. Example, you are a great oracle. We will send you to practice your priesthood in Delphi. So from Delphi, as the priestess, you hold the balance of the energy that rides along that meridian that they call ley line. If you hold the energy frequency, we'd be able to tell you what to look for, what to tell them not to do, and what to tell them to do, so that we all be on the same page around the world. This is where you think the internet came from. Listen to it close. It's called the internet. But in the homonym, it's an internet, as an inside network. They're talking about the psychic connection of the matriarchal hive mind, which is the prefrontal lobe in the universal mind that emanates from Earth. These are called mirror cells in the brain, but it plays out in the world as women receiving spiritual messages from planet Earth. The mirror cell is for what they call a empathetic link or a sympathetic link. And from there, the illumination of the heart chakra, which is the representative of the core of the earth, sends a beam of magnetic field out that comes through as a torus field around the earth, which makes an aura around the body. And as that light shines from the heart to the empathetic prefrontal lobe, and the cross section be coming from the pineal gland, it's the third eye, that can hone in on the abstract energy that comes from the right brain and project it on the mirror cells. The heart can then read it as a message. That's just the mechanics of the telepathic link. It's the same as the internet, only you don't need no real physical wires. The women operate through the ley lines to magnify whatever it is they dealing with, to draw in the solution from all of the other sisters who may have ever experienced it.